Drtv News. Delta State government orders feed officers to ensure quality road projects in communities. Electricity consumers to obtain prepaid meters expresses doubt as calls for regular power supply months. Secretary to Delta State government orders arrest of landlord of collapsed building in Abraka. And 6 persons feared dead as police and tribe members clash in Abuja. Another sports. 2019 All African Games begins August 19. So glad you could join us on the DRTV Channel 41 News. Jennifer Uru. Thanks for. The Delta State Ministry of Works has directed its field officers to go around roads, bridges, drains projects executed during the first tenure of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to ascertain the state of the projects. The Commissioner for Works, Chief James Ogoyo, gave the directive at a meeting with the ministry field engineers across the state, said the gap as directed be in good shape. Correspondent
Chief James Ogoy stated that the management of the ministry should know where there are failures and take immediate steps to effect the necessary repairs. He explains that all stakeholders in the ministry must work together as a family to deliver quality projects to Deltans, stressing that activities of Ministry of Works was key in assessing the performance of any administration. Chief Ogoy commended the field engineers for their support during the first tenure of the Okowa's administration, warned them against encouraging contractors to cut corners. The Works Commissioner said enormous punishment awaits anyone caught in such acts, stressing that the officer will not only be removed from the position presently occupied, but prosecuted. He appealed to the staff to always ensure that right and quality materials were used on road projects, stating that all jobs must be effectively supervised. The Commissioner disclosed that government has ordered the issuance of a circular on what they need to know and must look out for in terms of road, bridge and drains constructions, while urging the field officers to ensure they surpass what was achieved during the first tenure of the Okowa's administration. Chief Ogoy stressed that there is no room for compromise.
Who fail is because you decided to compromise standards. And that's why there's need for us to remind ourselves that this tenure, which is the last tenure of His Excellency the Governor, much is expected of us. Because as is ending the tenure, is expected to leave behind legacy projects. Projects that will stand the test of time.
The Works Commissioner explained further that the state government was determined to leave in legacy projects at the end of the Okowa's second tenure.
It will be very bad that after handing over the first rainy season, the jobs that were executed.
One of the field engineers, Mr. Eric Chukwu, the superintendent engineer in charge of Warri South local government area, commended the commissioner for the meeting and pledged to double efforts to execution of quality roads in the state. The meeting was attended by the permanent secretary in the ministry and other top officials of the ministry.
Of 2 roads approved by Delta State government at Ikman say the deplorable state of the road is adversely affecting business and livelihood. The affected projects are Edo Guest House and Omimi Link Road, both off Refinery Road in Ikmanwe local government area. Staff correspondent Dwesson Esiete reports.
Residents and motor for Omimi we are happy when the news filtered in that Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has awarded contract for the construction of roads as well as a drainage. The joy of the residents of Omimi Link Road were further rekindled when the contractor moved to site and commenced the construction of the drainage. According to the residents, they were, however, shocked when the contractor erected the drainage upwards instead of digging down. The contractor was, however, forced to destroy that drainage project and asked residents on the type of drain they actually wanted. The latest development on Omimi Link Road and the drainage project is a sorry state, and residents state their predicament.
This road, it don't take, not be today. It don't like 30 years when it should be like this. With the suffer here. They want dig gutter now, they go carry gutter for off. Instead of go dig gutter and go ground, they carry gutter for up of them. Say, yes. Make gutter the more water they pass off. And gutter want to enter for people copper enter gutter.
We were there with the suffer from.
With the suffer. See this road and Abadan road now.
Who they give her to make it can't do the road give us. Now government and I we there for here. Now here we there they find our daily bread. Money not there, market not there. Nobody. Motor say Kwakpa not they fit drive here again. We thank God, we beg the government, make it come answer with the road as it is like this. They not do gutter for inside. It can't make the road now. They suffer the community people because the water where gutter was supposed to carry the water out now, it's not there. People want to get around, they suffer. Who want to be mechanic, they suffer.
Investigation revealed that the contractor has allegedly removed all its equipment from the site as residents grapple with a worse and deplorable state of Omimi Link Road. In a similar development, traders and road users on Edo Guest House share a more bitter experience as no contractor has deployed any equipment since the Delta State government awarded contract for the construction of that road, which links Ekpan community on the express road junction and the Warri refinery. The residents, mostly traders, appealed to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, who they described as a roadmaster, to come to their aid and complete the Edo Guest House road project.
May they try, may they do better road for us. Now we need good road. If I can look my store with a shop from mouth to hand, first man, nothing there here. Check on the people that they so don't go park for such a many people. With the women, we train our children to go school. If our husband bring one, we bring one. 1 + 1 are 2. May they come to the road. The road that big men even see the road. They know they want to offer the road. They only with they cry every day because their pocket full. And men who will not get with the manage. You know, sometimes last year in November, we saw some people like surveyors, and then we saw them pegging. We were all excited, thinking the road will be constructed before December. And before we know it, attention was diverted and nothing is done. As you can see, we are talking today, 22nd of July, 2019. The road is still there, and even in a more deplorable state.
Looking at this road, they say it has been awarded. And for over how many years now, they have not touched this road. But we are begging the state governor to look into it. If the road has been awarded, the contractor should be called to order.
ULC, Asiete, Drtv News.
Following growing concern among electricity consumers in Nigeria over their inability to get prepaid meters, the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) says customers can acquire meters without upfront payment as from next month. The regulatory body also said electricity consumers could get the meters and pay in installments within a year or a minimum of 10 years. NEC gave the prices of one-phase meter and three-phase meters as 36,920 naira and 67,055 naira respectively, exclusive of the valued added tax VAT. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission explained further that it approved 42 meter access providers in April under the NAP regulation after a rigorous procurement exercise carried out by 11 electricity distribution companies in the country. He added that the distribution companies were asked to commence the deployment of meters as from May 1st, 2014. While regretting that installations did not commence immediately across the country as planned due to the need to finalize some documents and also mobilize the supply of prepaid meters, NEC announced, however, that the installation of meters have now commenced across DISCO areas of operation. Speaking with newsmen in Lagos, NEC Commissioner Finance and Management Services, Mr. Nathan Shatti, said meter development, customer registration, network cleanup and installation has commenced in many parts of the country. It disclosed further that two options are open to the customers, either to acquire a meter and upfront payments and pay in installmentally. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission said it has in 2006 asked customers on estimated bill to stop bills until they acquired their own prepaid meters. Meanwhile, electricity consumers in Warri and its environs react to the Electricity Commission prepaid meters from distribution companies like the B, the C. Electricity consumers who spoke to our staff correspondents in different parts of the oil city reacted with mixed feelings. The reports.
The electricity consumers, while reacting to the latest directive that they can now purchase a prepaid meter from BEDC office, asked rhetorical questions if that could be possible in Nigeria, when enlightened further that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is serious with its directive. The electricity consumers who have faced power outages and still pay for high estimated bills responded this way.
Nigeria, I pray it works out, but I don't really think so. Our system is corrupt, so I'm not sure it's going to work out, but our fingers are crossed, waiting for what will happen next. I want the government to give us good electricity. If there is prepaid meter, it will be very easy for us, because at times now we will not use light, but they will still come at the end of the month for us to pay bills.
I said it go be something wey go work, but sometimes even so all these NEPA people wey dey work around, sometimes wetin the prepaid meter dey read no be wetin dem dey concern. They can just decide to dey give you bill, but you get the way they go dey run the thing. So sometimes even if there is light now, if they come, what the prepaid meter read will not be what they will not concentrate on that one. So,
on power supply, the BDC consumers decried the many months of outages in their areas.
The one where they vex me pass, or that place where we dey stay, there will be no light for 1 month, more than. You see NEPA, they will cut your light, your wire, carry it home, and there is no light.
Enjoy the light, so that's just there is no enjoyment, because at times when we say I want this light is a day. Even recently, I have to keep buying more cameras so that the light not there, I don't want to use. But when I have work to do, there is no light to power my machine, but I use electric. So without light, it's now difficult for me.
They noted that power blackout has crippled their businesses.
At least 2 persons have been confirmed dead, with 2 others sit trapped under the rubble following the collapse of a 3-story hotel building on Saturday at Abraka, Ethiopia East local government area of Delta State. Secretary to Delta State Government, Mr. Tiedu Ebir, along with the chairman of Ethiopia East local government, Chief Majemite, were among early callers Sunday morning at the site of the building, which was still under construction when the incident occurred at Agwana Avenue of Ekurud, Abaka. Staff correspondent Joshua Kmanefe report is presented from our studio.
Investigation revealed that the 2 dead bodies already exhumed from the rubble and the 2 men still trapped underneath the debris were Togolese skilled workers hired by one Chief Efe to build the second suite of his hotel business at the university town. 19-year-old Moses Adebayo, one of the 6 Togolese laborers who escaped from the building shortly before the collapse, disclosed in Yoruba language that 10 of them slept in the building on the night of the incident. Moses said while the 4 skilled workers were in the interior part of the building, 6 of them, who were laborers, slept together closer towards the entrance of the building. He said upon getting up to urinate at the early hours of Saturday morning, he noticed that the building was collapsing and raised an alarm which woke up the 5 persons who slept with him, leading to their escape. The young man lamented that it was too late to run deep into the building to wake up the 4 sleeping skilled workers, as the entire 3-story building crumbled before their very eyes. Secretary to the state government, Mr. Chiedube, who was received at the site by the Ethiopia East Council Chairman, Chief Majemite, was briefed by the town planning officer for the area, Mr. Longlife Oyibo, that upon visit to the site last week, he noticed that the 3-story building, instead of a story building structure approved in the building plan, was being erected. Mr. Oyibo said he promptly issued a stop work order which also mandated the site engineer and and the owner of the building to appear in his office on Monday, July 22, for interrogation, only for the building to give way early Saturday morning.
Notice by issuing him a stop work notice, and he promised that he will come over to the office to amend the plan. That was on the 18th last week, and this week now the event took place.
The SSG, Mr. Drtv, told newsmen that preliminary investigations has already confirmed that the building structure was faulty as it was not erected according to the government-approved building plan, while assuring that an additional evacuator would be brought in to remove the debris with the hope of rescuing the two remaining trapped victims alive. Mr. Ibe ordered that the other structures in the premises must be demolished as soon as possible, as it was also erected contrary to the building plan. He also confirmed that a full-scale investigation of the incident would commence soon, and any found culpable will be brought to book, while the first suit of the hotel by the developer located at Rotary Street, Abraka, must be shut down for that building to face an integrity test, which must be successful before any reopening of the hotel.
In the meantime, the developer and his contractor have been arrested because lives have been lost.
Meanwhile, the owner of the collapsed building, who identified himself as Chief Efe, and the site engineer at Togolis have been arrested by the police at Abraka as investigation into the incident continues.
The Delta State government has restated its commitments to the implementation of policies and programs aimed at flood and erosion control in the state. The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Environment, Mr. Precious Anuku, stated this during the opening ceremony of a two-day training workshop for environmental club facilitators and Chief Inspector of Education. The workshop is organized by the Delta State Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NewMap, in collaboration with Global Peace Development in Asaba. Correspondent in Keweke Reports is presented from our studio.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Mr. Precious Anuku, said the NewMap project is designed to tackle the environmental challenges associated with gully erosion and flood sites, threatening infrastructure and livelihoods in communities. Mr. Anuku state was among the that keyed into the World Bank NewMap intervention project, stressing that the ECOWAS administration is focused in transforming the environment through urban renewal. He stated that government has created the needed synergy in its steering and technical committees, thereby providing the projects with a pool of technical support, adding that Delta NewMap has made remarkable achievements in the areas of studies, sensitization. The state coordinator of NewMap, Mr. Isaac Ufiofio, urged the take the train the trainers workshop seriously so as to adapt it while piloting the affairs of the environmental club in their various schools. Mr. Ufiofio said the state government is committed to the successful implementation of the NewMap project, adding that government would employ every success factor to seek cooperation and relevant stakeholders in erosion and flood-prone areas.
The Delta State has a total of 122 active gully erosion sites requiring interventions. In this regard, there will be to Gully Action Plan with the medium-term strategies (MTS) in line with the state development plan to coordinate erosion management techniques.
The project preparatory works leading to the award of civil works as contracts across the 5 erosion and flood intervention committee is 90% completed.
The State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Chief Patrick Uka, in a goodwill message to the workshop, says the introduction of the environmental club in schools would go a long way to create awareness among students. Chief Uka, who spoke through the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mr. Drtv, says the pupils and students would be equipped with necessary information required in addressing environmental challenges and hazards. In a lecture titled Improving Environmental best practice in schools. The Executive Director of Global Peace Development, Mr. Eseke Brisike, called on environmental club facilitators, teachers, and chief inspectors of education, CIEs in the state, to institutionalize environmental best practice in the primary and secondary schools.
The Delta State Coordinator of New Nigeria Development Evolution, NNDE, Comrade Francis Obule, has commended Governor Ifeanyi Okowa for nominating experienced and qualified persons into the board of Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, the SOPADEC. Comrade Obule gave the commendation in Saple when he led members of the political pressure group on a courtesy visit to Commissioner-designate on the board of the SOPADEC, Honorable Joyce Vera.
The Delta State Coordinator of New Nigeria Development Evolution, NNDE, Comrade Francis Obule, told the Commissioner-designate, Honorable Joyce Overa, that Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has demonstrated his commitment to the development of oil-producing communities in the state in the last 4.5 years. Comrade Obule stressed that Governor Okowa, on assumption of office, repositioned the SOPADEC for better efficiency and productivity. He noted that Governor Okowa, through the SOPADEC, has carried out several development projects across oil-producing communities. Comrade Obule said the group has estranged the recent appointments of Governor Okowa and it found out that all the nominees, especially those in the SOPADEC, are experienced and qualified. He expressed confidence that the present board, when constituted, will fulfill the vision of the governor on building a stronger Delta State. Comrade Obule congratulated Honorable Joyce Overa for making the list of nominees and urged him to bring his wealth of experience as a grassroots politician to bear in the discharge of his duties.
I want to congratulate Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa for appointing credible hands into the management of the SOPADEC, Joyce Overa, Comrade Vincent Oyibode, the Benebo, Chief Askia Oge, and many others. And also Jesus Ebedi. It shows that the governor is going to finish stronger according to what he has promised us before.
Responding, Commissioner-designate on the board of the SOPADEC, Honorable Joyce Overa, thanked members of the group for the visit and promised not to disappoint them when they eventually assume office. Honorable Overa, who thanked God and Governor Ifeanyi Okowa for his recent elevation, promised to key into the stronger Delta vision of Governor Okowa when the time comes.
We need everything, we need everybody, so that this state can progress. And that gives birth to the country for all gentleness. And so, if our objective is to make prosperity reach out to Deltas, then of course we must start creating that bonding.
The former lawmaker urged Deltas to support Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to enable him surpass his first-term achievements. John.
The Ibenanawe of Debere Kingdom, Pere James Orubu, has appealed to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to nominate an indigenous son of Debere Kingdom as a commissioner on the board of the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, the SOPADEC. The Ibenanawe of Debere Kingdom made the appeal in Warri while addressing indigents of the kingdom. Correspondent reports that the protesters were earlier at Government House and Nets, Warri. The report.
The crowd of protesters marched to the Government House Annex Warri, carrying placards and chanting solidarity songs, defiling the money rains. Speaking on behalf of the protesters, the chairman of Debere Governing Council, Mr. Michael Douglas, and the councillor representing Debere Ward, Honorable Frank Pukon, said Debere Kingdom, which is one of the peaceful communities in the state, is the 5th highest Ijaw oil producing communities, but has not benefited from appointment on the board of the SOPADEC. Mr. Douglas and Honorable Pukon noted that going by the rotational agreement by Ijaw oil producing communities and based on production quantum, it is their turn to be appointed as commissioner on the board of the SOPADEC. Comrade Esther Douglas and youth president of Debere Kingdom, Mr. Godwin Yokri, appealed to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to appoint an indigene of the kingdom into the board of the SOPADEC as commissioner, noting that they have experienced and qualified persons.
For the Ijaw nationality, it's our turn, it's every turn to produce the commissioner, the governor of Delta State, to put Debere son
the commissioner of the Sopadek. Drtv is the 5th largest oil producing Ijaw kingdom in Delta State. So today, we are here to let the government, the state government, know that for Drtv to produce the next commissioner of the board.
We are appealing to the government to do something about it.
The protesters later went to the palace of the Ibenanowe of Drtv Kingdom Warri Annex, where they were addressed by their monarch. Pere James Orubu commended the protesters for their peaceful nature and urged them to sustain it. Pere Orubu said it is the turn of Drtv Kingdom, which is the host of Drtv Oil Flow Station, to produce the commissioner on the board of the Sopadek and appealed to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to nominate an indigene of the kingdom for the position. He explains that the Drtv people worked for the victory of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa in the gubernatorial election and should be rewarded with the position.
Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, he sent peace teams to Drtv several times to say, make we stay peaceful so that we go to tap oil, they make money. And we abided with it. And so we are calling on him now. He should come to rectify this anomaly.
The Ibenanowe of Drtv Kingdom pledged their support to the Okowa administration.
Another violent protest rocked the streets of the nation's capital, Abuja, where 6 members of the child group are feared dead. The clash, which took place at the Federal Secretariat complex, also had vehicles reportedly belonging to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, set ablaze. The protesters had gathered at the popular 90 junction in Wuse to Abuja for a protest march to the 3-arm zone to continue their call for the release of their leader, Ibrahim Zazaki, from government detention. They were, however, resisted by gun-wielding security personnel who ordered that they stop their protest march in despair. In the ensuing arguments, parodic gunshots were fired, which left about 6 persons feared dead and a journalist with Chinese TV battling for his life. A stalwart of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Udu local government area, Comrade Obuche Ogenejiru, has scored the administration of Chief Jitebran high in the pursuit of infrastructural development in the area. Comrade Ogenejiru was reacting to recent political developments in Udu local government area. A report.
According to the stalwart of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Comrade Obuche Ogenejiru, recent political and infrastructural developments in the Udu local government area are eloquent testimonies that the area is now in the mainstream of government in the state. Comrade Ogenejiru, who lauded the state government Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa for changing and improving the outlook of the Udu people through laudable projects and political appointments of indigenes, especially the reappointment of Chief Henry Sakpa as a commissioner designate and Ologo Vincent Oyibode for the Sopadek, attributed the good fortunes to the political sagacity of Chief Jitebran. He explained that until the administration of Chief Jitebran, Udu Council area was lagging behind in developments, but now the story has changed for the better.
Just say it's like Jesus Christ for our time. So now this sent by God to do kingdom to come and redeem the business. If you can recall, to be hasty, honestly, and be candid, during the reign of Jitebran, first time in the history of Udu, our great party, PDP, won this local government.
Comrade Obuche Ogenejiru expressed optimism that the Udu people will continue to enjoy more infrastructural development and political recognition. Comrade Ogenejiru, however, appealed to the Udu people to sustain their support for the state governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, and the Udu Council Chairman, Chief Jitebran, by enjoying peace and security in their communities.
The Supreme Court has struck out the application of the All Progressive Congress APC for a review of its May 24, 2019 judgment, which nullified the victory of all the party's candidates at the 2019 general election held in Zamfara State. A 5-man panel led by Justice Olabode Drtv unanimously struck out the application on the grounds that the application was incompetent as a complete judgment of the Apex Court comprising of the judgment of the 5 members of the panel be contested by the party were not attached to the application. Justice Drtv, who delivered the ruling, said the application only attached the lead judgment and failed to exhibit the consenting judgment of the 4 other members of the panel, which gave the verdict on May 24, 2019. The Supreme Court, in a unanimous judgment, ruled the application as incompetent and struck it out. It upheld the judgment of the 5-man panel led by the then acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, on May 24, 2019, that declared that APC never conducted primary elections and thus had no valid candidate for the election. The APC lawyer, Chief Robert Clark, however, vowed to refile the application. As the political muscle flexing between Adams Oshomole and Godwin Obaseki continues to eat up, a former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Chief John Odego has asked his successor to stop interfering in the administration of the present Edo State governor. A statement signed by the Public Affairs Advisor to the former APC national chairman in Abuja appealed to Adams Oshomole to stop disgracing the ruling party APC and the people of Edo State. He also asked the former Labour leader to give the Edo State governor a breathing space to concentrate in doing the job of serving the people of Edo State. Chief John Odego in the statement recalled that he never, as a national chairman of the APC, interfered in the affairs of Edo State when Adams Oshomole was the governor then. He asked Oshomole to realize that Godwin Obaseki is the only APC governor in the entire South and should allow him to concentrate so that Edo people can enjoy the dividends of democracy. The face-off between Adams Oshomole and Godwin Obaseki began when the governor inaugurated the Edo State Assembly with only 8 members, leaving out 12 other lawmakers said to be loyal to the APC national chairman. Since then, there has been accusations and counter-accusations between politicians loyal to the 2 former late fellows. Governor Godwin Obaseki thereafter openly accused Adams Oshomole of frustrating his government because he refused to share the state's money to those who want it. An indigenous Riversan, Mr. Sam Igube, is among the names of commissioner nominees sent by the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to the State Assembly for ratification. The list contains 25 names who are to assume duties as commissioners as special advisors upon ratification by the Lagos State Assembly. A statement from the office of the Lagos State Governor says Mr. Sam Igube, who is from Uweru, Inugele North local government area of Delta State, was nominated based on his cognate experience in his choosing profession. Mr. Sam Igube is the board chairman of Cord Innovation Limited. He is an engineer by profession with significant banking experience. He is also an author and socially smart entrepreneur whose career runs through a significant number of local and international institutions. Mr. Gube's charge business consulting days at Addison Na KPMG positioned him at a very top level of expertise in financial engineering and management. The brilliant engineer turned banker and Mercure entrepreneur is a registered member of the Council for Regulations of Engineers in Nigeria and the Nigerian Society of Engineers. The main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party (PDP), has urged the federal government to explain the whereabouts of $1 billion allegedly missing from the SS crude Account Security Fund. The opposition party in a statement in Abuja drew the attention of Nigerians to the shocking confession by the National Security Advisor, retired General Babangida Mugunu, that he is not aware of the whereabouts or disbursement of the $1 billion drawn from the SS crude account by the Muhammadu Warri presidency in 2017 for security purposes. The PDP in the statement noted that the confession of the National Security Advisor, who coordinates the security architecture of the country, directly places a huge burden on President Buhari's doorstep over the reported missing funds. The opposition parties urged the APC-led government to wake up from its slumber and properly use the funds meant for the security of lives and properties of Nigerians. And on the sports story, Nigeria has been drawn alongside host Morocco as well as Burkina Faso and South Africa in Group A for the 12th edition of the 2019 African Games. Athletes from 53 countries will jostle for honors in the multi-sport events at 4 different venues starting from August 19, 2019. The Nigerian Football Federation has ever confirmed that the country's under-20 team, the Flying Eagles, will compete at the event and will be tutored by Paul Agbogu. In Group B, defending champions Senegal will battle Ghana, Burundi and Mali. The Flying Eagles will, according to report, resume camping this weekend in Abuja with majority of the players that flopped at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Poland expected to be part of the team. A Toyota Camry with registration number Delta WWR966AA has been removed by non-persons for where it was parked at number 11 Frank Aleme Street, Warri, according to the owner of the custom color Toyota Camry, Mr. Sonny Okoro. The vehicle has engine number 450972929, while chassis number is 41SK1SU571263. The owner of the Toyota Camry has therefore appealed to anyone that has information that could lead to the recovery of the car to contact the nearest police station or call the owner, Mr. Sonny Okoro, on 0806 2536 486. And with that report, we've come to the end of our bulletin. But before we go, a look at some of our stories. The Delta State Ministry of Works has directed its field officers to go around roads, bridges and drains projects executed during the first tenure of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to ascertain the state of the projects. The Commissioner of Works, Chief James Ogoyo, gave the directive at a meeting with the ministry's field engineers across the state, said the governor has directed that all road projects must be in good shape. I also brought to you the reports that electricity consumers in Warri and its environs have reacted to the directive by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to purchase prepaid meters from distribution companies like the BEDC. Electricity consumers who spoke to our staff correspondents in different parts of the RCT reacted with mixed feelings. That does it on the news. Thanks for being there. Stay tuned for more programs on TV. Bye-bye.